What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol AMZN for Amazon, of course. This is a stock that I watch very closely, so the chart is already marked up. Just for your reference, on the left-hand side, we have the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, we have the 30-minute intraday time frame. The main reason I'm covering this one on the channel today is because, of course, they gave us an earnings announcement after the bell, so let's flip on the extended hours session and see what's going on with that number. So right out of the gates, you can certainly see a fair bit of volatility, right? Big red candle followed up with a green upper wick, which is exactly the high here. So maybe that was a fake print by Thinkorswim. Regardless, a bit of volatility, right? We already lifting off of the lows here and kind of trading around this 33.10. So all things considered, we'll assume that we open on a gap down for tomorrow's session. However, remember, a lot can happen between now and 9:30 when the bell actually rings. In the case of a gap down, we want to know where the overnight low is. So that's going to be here, and the anticipated open, let's say it's here at 33.03, very close to that 33.10. Let's clean up the chart by getting rid of that extended hour session and focus in on the daily time frame chart. Okay, so first thing, actually, before we get into it, is note that we are technically in a bit of a downtrend, right? Here are our highs, lower highs still technically, and now that we're gapping down, we've certainly violated this as our sort of attempt at a higher low, right? If we think about trend and trend reversal, this was an equal low from here. That would have been your higher low, and again, with this gap down, if it really holds here, that's putting into jeopardy this as an equal low, if not lower low, from the grand scheme of things. So that's what I would point out from a trend perspective. Let's zoom back in now and talk in terms of scenarios. So as you know, with a gap in either direction, the first thing we have to consider, number one, is the gap and trap. So what that looks like is if we open here, fail to take out the overnight low, trade back higher through the open, note that it would also be, actually probably not, considering that we would be right here. But if we trade back through the open, I guess what I was getting at is it would be a break of the resistance trend line, but not really, right? If we're here, do something like this, then it's a little bit further up. But anyways, back up and over the open does put into play the gap fill up into today's low of day. Let's go ahead and map that out. That's going to be at 33.8684, so a lot of decimal points there. I would just look for 3,400, nice round number, as an upside target. But now that I sort of have thought about this in my head as I'm speaking, the resistance trend line will be the target, and also kind of just about the half gap. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. Just to give you an idea of where that number may be, it's right around, let's call it 33.50 for round numbers sake. It's also a nice psychological number, so that would be on my radar here during tomorrow's session as resistance if we get the gap and trap. Now, the flip side of this coin, and I'm not sure if a lot of people want to see this, but typically on gaps, you like to see that momentum follow through. In that case, we would look for the gap and go, right? So a bearish flag gets put in here above the overnight low, a break of it. Obviously, we would look for that to break as well. But a break of the overnight low at 32.54 puts into play, I would argue, here at 31.80. Why is that? Well, because this double bottom, just back-to-back candles like that, that's typically seen as a weak low. So we're not placing too much emphasis into that. Again, if you have a big momentum play, big earnings going on, I would imagine the momentum and just strength of the stock lower would easily take that out. So not placing a whole lot of emphasis into that 32.40, we'll call it for round numbers sake. But again, ultimately the target would be here at 31.80. So these are really the frameworks that I'll be using tomorrow morning to help me navigate Amazon on the gap down. We have overhead and downside levels to pay attention to. If you enjoyed today's video or learned anything new, let me know in the comments section by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description. And all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.